Alrighty, welcome to episode 240 of Backpacking America. I'm on a little bit of a sports and fitness kick, so we have a friend of mine, and he's actually one of my boxing trainers, James Marengo, and he's a pretty young dude. He's like 19. And I'm a young dude too, but he's grinding harder than I was at 19, and I really think that that's awesome. He has a great knowledge about him when it comes to fighting, especially boxing. He's also a great personal trainer too. So I wanted to kind of pick his brain today, talk about some key things that I have in my fitness journey, and I'm sure other people, have about theirs. So James, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you very much, Anthony, for having me. You're the man. And what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having an amazing day.
Groovy, man. Hey, listen, I'm glad to have you. So one of the major questions that I have had when it comes to lifting, right? I feel like one of the most
hmm
complicated things for people is um their compound lifts and progressing past them. One of them being the bench press, the most difficult, and probably deadlift being the second most difficult. So,
hmm
if you say you have someone that's like coming up to you, right, and they want to increase their bench press or their deadlift, what's some advice you give them? Like, what are some strategies they could be employing?
That that is an amazing question. So, just one note to get through. So, I'm not really a big fan of deadlifting. Honestly, I feel
Mm,
it's a little as like an ego movement. I mean, if you're competing as a power lifter, I would obviously recommend it because that's one of the three main compounds that you would perform. I do like squat. However, it's not always my first option. I would recommend, to newer people and advanced lifters. I'm more of a machine guy just for a few reasons. One being, you know, machines have just a fixed range of motion. You're not gonna have to worry about really injury as much as like a compound movement because you're using a lot more stabilizer muscles when you're doing those compound movements.
mm.
Like I said, even if you are an advanced lifter, I'm not too crazy on it. And another thing is safety. Um, you're able to just push the failure a little bit more. So for instance, with a bench press, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but with a bench press, if you don't have someone spotting you, or even if you do have a spotter, there's still a chance, that weight's going to come down on you, which I'm not too
Mm.
much of a fan of being a personal trainer. I would much rather recommend like a machine press. I do all incline press movements and flat chest press movements, but as machines.
So the thing is that you mentioned an important thing, and it's stabilizer muscles, right? So
hmm
how do you obviously do need to work those out to a degree, or you are gonna open yourself to injuries by not
Correct.
doing that. So how do you, since you do recommend mostly machines, what are some exercises you recommend to strengthen your stabilizers?
So now that's a great question. And now even going to you, I know you love your dips. I would 100% go to calisthenic movements, definitely.
Hmm.
Push-ups, pull-ups. Pull-ups, you're not really using too many stabilizers. That's just like you're using your core.
Mm.
But, dips, like you said, that's another really good way to work on stabilizing muscles. So I would recommend like calisthenic movements. I know I did say like compounds are not like it's a very good way to put on muscle and stuff, but like I mentioned before, I'm a big machine guy. But there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with an incline dumbbell press, doing also dumbbell movements. I know they're still free weights, they're also considered compound movements, some of them. But you know dumbbell work's also pretty important. It all really just depends on your goals.
Yes, I
That's the
see.
thing. Like if someone's coming in trying to lose weight and look good, I'm not gonna really, do some complicated things like that. Most of the time, as you mentioned, I love boxing. I think boxing is honestly one of the best ways to lose weight. Full body exercise, stress reliever, really good for your coordination.
It's a
It's
good
a
warm
lot of
up too.
fun. A great warm up. As long as you're not pushing too hard, yeah, it's definitely a good warm up just to get that blood flow.
Yeah, because when we had our last training session about a week ago, and that was one of the better chest and back
Yeah.
days I had, just because I was all loose
Oh
and
yeah.
everything ready to go.
Yeah, because you don't realize, you think like punching just with your arms, but you're using your lats, your back, your shoulders, your core. When I'm showing you how to throw your hook and the straight and the cross, I mean, um, how we move off. We're on our toes, tilting, twisting, using torque through our
Mm.
core and our legs. So that's where a lot of people think, oh, like boxing's just like punching with your arms, but in reality, like I mentioned, core, legs, your back, your shoulders. So it's a lot. It really is. And like I mentioned, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, what's interesting about, that you talk about boxing. So I know that that's like more your lane of thing. I know you do personal training as well, but that's more your
Yeah.
like your focus. So like what got you interested in, you know, making boxing a passion of yours?
You know, I'm I have a very driven mind, so I enjoy things that you know take a while to perfect and to master. I mean,
Mm.
boxing is just one of those things that I feel like no matter how much you work, how hard you work, what you put into the hours, it takes so long. Excuse me. It takes so long to master and to perfect. Um, I found boxing in around seventh grade. I was into basketball, but not as crazy as I was when I hit like ninth grade. So
Mm.
boxing was definitely my passion from like seventh to eighth grade. I actually went to the gym I'm working at currently. Um, and I was trained by a two-time Golden Glove champion for about like 7 months to a year.
Wow.
And then took a little break. I was an amateur fighter, 1-1. And then I stopped around ninth grade because basketball came a little bit more important to me. So, and then I kind of quit competitive boxing. Played ball throughout high school, ninth through 12th grade, and then as soon as it was a decision to go to college. I did my college for 2 years, and then realized like school's really not for me. And I enjoy the thing I love most, and this is I love teaching people, and I love turning people. I love helping people physically and mentally. So that's when I thought I'm like, what, personal training and boxing and stuff like that. That's definitely like my niche. I always wanted to be a math teacher when I was younger, but I realized how much school I needed. So, personal training, it's only a certification. And if you want to work at a boxing gym, depending on who you don't even need experience. They'll teach you from the ground up. So, and that was definitely, like I said, I love learning. I'm a very, I love to keep my mind on something that I have a passion for. So I
Mm.
knew, boxing, like I mentioned, a great stress reliever. It's a load of fun. You're getting fit. You're working on your coordination. You're working on self-defense. God forbid, like stuff was to roll out. There's so many benefits that like correlate into the real world that I think that everybody should honestly know a combat sport. If it's boxing, if it's jujitsu, um, if it's kickboxing, if it's judo, karate, anything. And another thing that comes with all those martial arts that I just mentioned is the discipline. You know, everything in life you can get discipline out of, but boxing is just one of those things. Like, if you're not willing to put in the work, everybody's catching up to you. But the biggest
Yeah.
person you really want to be battling is yourself, and that's where I honestly got my discipline, my motivation from. Just knowing like you're going to war with yourself every day. Like who cares what people think about you? It's really like I just think every day before my head hits the pillow at night, like did I learn something? Did I get out of my comfort zone today? Did I improve as a human being? You live once, you get one life. I always just think, you can't take any second for granted. Time's the only thing money can't buy. And yeah, like it's just something I'm always thinking about. It's always in the back of my head just to improve every day, be successful every day, not have to regret thinking like, oh, I wasted my time here. And you can't think that, you're wasting time by, for instance, like I said, I went to college. I knew it wasn't for me. I'm not going to say that I wasted my time doing that. I still went through, I got my 2-year degree. Um, do I regret it? No, because I learned from it, and then I'm going to carry out that mistake through my life knowing, hey, I tried it. I was uncomfortable. I was in a different setting. Um, yeah, I pushed myself. I did everything I could do, but, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, listen, I mean, that's cool that you know that too, because a lot of people, they'll just keep going through that. And it comes down to a mental thing too. It takes a lot of like security and
That's it.
stability to make a
Yep.
decision like that. I can't tell you how many people I went to school with, and I went away to school that
Yeah.
just were not cut out to go away. They were forced to go away. And even the craziest thing I commonly heard was people would be forced by their parents to take out loans, and the parents wouldn't help them financially
Yeah,
at
it's
all. And I'm
crazy.
like, yo, you're not even paying for this, and you're trying to like, what is this?
Yeah,
So
no, that's nuts. That's nuts.
it's really a mental thing. Now you said something too about for something I'm always because I'm a smaller dude. combat sports, and everyone that should know it. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, there's so much crazy stuff going out there in
Hmm.
the world today, especially with people, you get
Agreed.
alcohol into a situation, you're out at the club or whatever, people start mollywopping on you, or you're even just going to the grocery store and someone tries to jump you just for no reason. Like, you know, you
Totally.
got to know how to defend yourself. Like I was telling you when I
Mm.
first started taking our lessons, I was like, man, like I don't even know like if I could throw a proper punch. Like I don't know what's gonna happen if I get like
Yeah.
someone swinging on me.
You're right. No, 100%. And yeah, no, like I mentioned before, that's a huge reason why I believe that, you should know a combat sport depending on whatever one interests you the most. Even if it's jujitsu, you can, if you know how to get a fight to the ground, the average person on the street's not going to know how to defend like a rear naked choke, or, someone's not going to know what to do if you're starting to put them into a body triangle, or a Kimura, like any submission like that. But once again, and that brings me to something I wanted to mention to you, is
Mm.
consistency. You have to be consistent at it. You have to be consistent in life, no matter what you do. If it's personal training, if it's boxing, if it's anything you need to work on, it's consistency. No one can just pick up a pair of gloves and just be great. It comes with consistency. And I know I want to go into more of like a motivating topic because that's what I do for a living. I
So
motivate people and like,
how do you motivate
what's up?
people? How do you motivate people?
Exactly, like just one, being a role model,
Mm.
knowing that, like I said, you are going to like a war with yourself, improving every day. But, I do it for the people I love as well, and I do it for the people that look up to me. It's my job to be there for people and to push them. How am I going to be a hypocrite and not push myself? So,
Mm.
I deal with many people every day. I have 20 something, I believe 23 clients one on one. I have my boxing class, 8 kids. I feel like it's extremely important to bring up your mental health opposed to your physical. Obviously they're
Mm.
going to be coming to me and saying, hey, I want to learn how to bench press. Hey, I want to learn how to put on muscle. Hey, I want to learn how to get into a caloric deficit and lose some weight. Hey, I want to work on my agility because I'm an athlete. I'm going to school. I need to work on my acceleration, my agility. I deal with all those things. But one thing that I have to teach every one of those people I just mentioned is, the mindset. Hey, like, you can't teach discipline. I mean you can and you can't. At
Right.
the end of the day, I can give someone that meal plan. I could give someone the best workout program. I could teach someone every punch that you would need to know, or every submission, or how to kick. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to want it. So when people say, "Oh, James, like, thank you for helping me get to my goal weight," or, "Hey, James, thank you for helping me put on, 10 pounds of muscle." I get it all the time, all these thank yous. But in reality, I tell that person, "Hey, listen, you have to thank yourself. I understand I was a huge part of your life. I know I helped you mentally and physically, more mentally. Because if I don't help you mentally, I don't help you think the way you're supposed to be thinking. I don't I don't do my job in making you want it as bad as you want it. You're not going to see results, and that all ties down to consistency. That's one thing you have to drill into everybody's head. Like I mentioned, I work with so many people in one day. I have to be full of energy. I'm a super energetic person. I love talking to people. I love helping people. As we said prior, it's just something that I have naturally. But I'll still work. I'll work on myself to make sure I'm giving that person 100% every day. There's days I don't want to go to work, but me coming to work and putting 110% into that client that I'm with is only showing them what's right. I like, I'm not just a personal trainer. I like to be a full-on role model. I like to be a mentor. I always bring things um, from the real world into perspective, when we're training. I'll talk to them, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this." And I'll be like, "Just do it. Just do it. Just be quiet and just do it. Move the weight." They get it done and they're like, "Wow, I just did this." And then I say, how did you feel?" "Oh, very uncomfortable." I'm like, "Well, guess what just happened? You grew. You're going to do this same exact thing we just did for another 2 weeks, and then improve, progressively overload in the weight, or, make the workouts more challenging. And then 3 months later, as you look back, you're doing a really challenging workout compared to the one we did before. And that's where our mindset changes from the I can't to the I can,
Wow.
which is the most important thing. I
I
always make
couldn't agree
sure,
more.
yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm going to go in, I'm going to listen to what their goals are. And, after they're done, I give them a little breakdown of how I roll. And, every conversation will always just end with you got to want it. Nothing, no matter what I do for you, you're going to have to want to work for it. But the way, like I said, I word certain things and the motivation that I like to put into people's heads, the just things like that will train their mind to go for them from the I can't to the I can, the I will, I need, I must. That's super important, And another way another what's the word I'm looking for? Like another another place where I get my motivation from, you know, and I do the same thing with my clients. I tell them, listen to podcasts like this. Listen, find people that their words are extremely powerful to you, and listen. The days I don't want to be here, I go on my Spotify playlist. I have a playlist strictly on just motivational speeches, and podcasts.
Mm.
Even I follow many motivational speakers and mentors on TikTok. I love Goggins. I love my David Goggins. I've read his books. Um, he's another one, just that badass mentality, that mentality to just bulldoze every obstacle in the way. There's no such thing as I can't in his vocabulary. Like his story and what he did in the army and where he came from is just, that's so inspirational to me. And I want to carry on, that motivation and that inspiration.
Wow. That's awesome, dude. I actually had Kyle the Trojan Warrior Troyan
Hmm.
on yesterday, and he's a big fan of Goggins. And I had no
Yeah.
idea who that guy was. I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with
Yeah.
you. And he sounds like a great dude. I mean, what's your favorite? So I want to ask you the same question I asked him. You know, when you listen to David Goggins or any of your motivational speakers, what's one thing that any of them has said that stuck with you for most of your life?
Honestly, like the whole thing. It's just everything, just don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. That just
Mm,
that one of that quote just always sticks with me. Just knowing that, you're gonna be tired. The tired's in the mind. It's not an excuse to be great. And he's proven through his podcast, his books, like what he went through. You know, he was a nobody.
wow. So he built everything from the ground up. So like what's his story? Like I don't really know much about him.
Well, pretty much like he just had nothing. He grew up, he had no discipline. He joined the army and
Mm.
the Navy SEALs, and he just went to the top. He just went to the top. Nothing could stop him, you know.
Yeah, environments like that, they really make or break you, man. Like I can't tell you how many
Mhm.
people I've heard stories of, or I at least know where it's like they didn't have any direction and then they joined the military and it's like, whoa, you're a different
Yeah.
person. Like you actually have direction now.
Yeah,
And
like the military is just crazy. I sorry to cut you off. What were you saying?
no, I was just gonna say like you could apply like a lot of those principles. Like, you have to keep going. It's hard to do that on your own, and sometimes like the military just instills that principle in you if you can't develop it on your own. Like, so it's really cool to see that. Like I even had some clients where they similar story, like they didn't have a lot of discipline, they were just like some punk kid, and then they joined the
Yeah.
military and become like, captains and all that stuff, and like they own companies now. It's like, wow, like it 180s you.
I was about, yeah, and that's where I was gonna go to. Like you just mentioned. I had one of my friends. He was overweight. He was just a clown. He was a funny dude, but after he graduated, he went to the military. He went to the Marines, and he's
Oh
still there
wow.
now. He's deployed in China or Japan. He's deployed in Japan. But
Wow.
man, let me tell you, he's a unit. My boy Evan. So, I have a few stuff. Like I have a few videos with him on my Instagram. Yeah, that kid has been a role model to a lot of people. I mean,
Wow.
being 260 pounds at 15, 16 years old, that's heavy, man. That's heavy. And he knows. I've
Yeah.
talked to him before. He knows. He really made a change. And, anytime like someone tells me like, oh, like who's like someone like with a lot of discipline, or, who's someone that you can think of that, put the work in, and I always think of that kid.
Wow.
Always. He really will like show you like what you can do with your body. Like when I tell you like that man was a meatball, he was a meatball. His nickname was Meatball. They, they
Get out
called
of
him
here.
Meatball.
That's
They
funny.
called him Meatball. But I mean, he was training really hard before he even got into the military. But like I said, the amount of dedication that kid put in, he's now like 180, just like ripped with muscle, man. He's a beast. He's got a
Holy
really
shit.
nice following on Instagram as well. He's got like 10,000.
Shout him out,
Excuse
man.
me. Yeah, he's flying out. I mean, like when he has the free time, he's flying out to these events with BPN, a supplement company he's with.
Oh, wow.
He's he has many affiliate links with companies. He's consistent. He's consistent. That's all it took. It's the same pattern. Just being consistent on social media, posting, reaching out to people, interacting with people, working out, running, boxing. Just get the diet was the most important thing. I spoke with him. The diet was a huge game changer. So
Mm.
all those things together and doing it consistently got him to where he needed to be.
And I
And
find it
yeah,
funny because like a lot of people when you talk about like the social media consistency and the podcast consistency, like to the average person, they're like, "Oh, what's the big deal? You're just playing on the internet." And it's like, nah, bro, it's actual work. You need to figure out how to market it properly. You need to cut everything. You
mhm,
need it. It's still a mental process. Mental labor is still difficult or tiring. Like, not in the same way as physical labor, but it's you gotta think a lot. It could be sent to the wrong person, it could be debilitating, and that's why mental health is, like, such a big thing too, because, a lot of the work that we're doing too for like, you're trying to promote your personal training, I'm trying to promote my show,
yeah,
all that stuff. It takes a lot of mental energy to do that. Especially like
mhm,
your with your boy
it does.
Evan. He's in the
Yeah,
Marine Corps and he's with the private company. Like that's crazy. Like that's so much
yeah,
like you gotta be
mhm,
like militantly on top of your schedule, and have a lot of the times, dude, saying no is how you get to saying yes. Like that's what I've learned a lot.
yep, yep. No, good point. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And this is the time where, I mean, you're a little older than me, but I'm 19 years old. I've been out of high school for like 2 years now. You don't realize until you walk past, like you walk across that stage with the diploma in your hand, where you realize it's like, yo, it's the real world just slaps you right in the face
It's
as you're walking
game
off the
time.
stage. I'll never forget just going home after graduation, um, just putting that diploma down on my desk and just sitting on my bed, just thinking like, wow, like what now? And that's the thing where people don't have that discipline to build their dreams, attack their goals, just get a plan. And it's super important. And like I said, when I was in 10th, 11th grade, and I would get called down to the office, like with the counselors and stuff, and they're asking me, "Oh, what do you want to do with the rest of your life?" And I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know.
You know, yeah, like literally, it's just like, why are you asking me this? I'm in 10th grade, but then in the snap of a finger, it catches up, and before you know it, you're seriously needing to give a good answer.
Yeah.
It's a competitive world. Especially in this day and age. Just things like I don't want to speak politics, but like just the cost of living on Long Island. It's you got to be competitive. You gotta, I know I said multiple times, it's you against you, but you are competing in certain aspects with everybody else.
Oh, of course. You got to find what I
Like who's
found too in business is what sets me apart from my competitors is just my personality. It
that's
really
it.
comes down to
Same
people are
with
gonna
me.
buy because they know you.
Yep, you're a good dude. You got great energy. That's the one thing everybody looks for. Even yesterday, um, I had an like a FitX orientation session with this one girl client that goes to the Holbrook location. I told him, she saw my advertising on Instagram. She saw my account. She saw what I do, and she's like, "Wow, I need this. It's a good amount of discipline. It's great energy." You know, even when she met me, she's like, "Man, I didn't think you were gonna be this much energy." Like, but that's what
Mm,
you need. That's
you
what
need that
that's what it's
personal
all about.
connection.
Like you said, the personality is everything. When I can talk to you for hours. You're just someone to talk to. You got great energy.
Thank you, man.
Of course, bro. Of course,
I
you
can say the same
motivate.
for you, man.
You're the man. Stop it. I'm blushing. You can't see me.
No, because
But yeah,
it's true. It's true. It's like it's one of the like. Listen, the personality is a big aspect of why people do business with each other. I
oh yeah,
learned that too because some of my clients are real estate agents, and what they do is, one thing they told me was like, anyone could buy a house from anyone, but they buy a house from me because they like me. And
yep,
I was like, oh, that's, what? That's a really good point. Like people listen.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good point. You
Yeah,
can learn a lot from real estate and salespeople. They're very interesting to
yeah.
talk to. But when
Oh
you
yeah.
look at with dedication and like time going by and stuff it like when you were sitting on your bed figuring out like I was going to college and I was like, all right, life's not really real. I mean, I have to kind of figure out
Yeah.
like so I had like the delayed hit where it was like
Mhm.
I was still grinding. I was still like, all right, like the podcast. I don't know if I told you this the origin story of the podcast. I tell it almost every month on the podcast here. But
Okay.
basically, I was a sophomore in college and I realized, wow, all my friends are in the music industry major and they have, rock bands, R&B Spotify pages, they have albums out, LPs, EPs, all that shit. And
Mhm.
I don't have anything that sets me apart from the kids in my major. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make a podcast. And
Yeah.
I shit you not, I was making maybe $300, $400 a month with my job on campus. So I saved my money and I
Mhm.
bought my podcast equipment. And I was like, all right, kind of dumped the bank account a little bit. And I was just like, all right, well, if I don't use this equipment, I just wasted $500 and I
Yeah.
need to change my major because if I'm not willing to do this, then what am I doing working, wanting to find a job in this field? So I just pushed through and I've been doing it for almost 4 years now. And it's developed a lot since 4.5 years ago. And
Yeah.
it set me
Exactly.
apart. It set me apart. So then I
Mhm.
graduate college and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a job in radio right away. I didn't. Well, I kind of did. I got it like 3 months after I graduated. I was working some bullshit job like in the intern period. And then I realized like how little it paid. I realized that there was no longevity, there was no stability in the
Mhm.
industry, and then, I was freaking out because 'cause I'm like, "Man, I'm getting, like, 5 hours of sleep because I was doing the morning show as a producer, and what ended up happening was I had to also do stuff at night, the night before, and be up at 4 or 5 in the morning, so I'm sleeping at maybe 11, 12 AM, and, I had to cover the news for the next day that night on that night
Yeah.
portion of it. So it was just kind of like you're going to bed like thinking about Gabby Petito getting fucking murdered in a hotel room or something. And I'm like, this is horrible. So I end up getting a better job ish in the company I was at, and then I was losing my mind because I'm stuck in a studio all day by myself. I was like, yo, I need to change a career. So I just, you realize like how quickly like post grad life and I'm sure you could sympathize with high school life. It's not real. You're not around people all the time in your little
Yeah.
cohort. It's like all your friends are, either going away or they're not a mile away from you anymore. So it's like, it kind of hits you like quick. Life happens fast. And now I'm going to be 25 in
Okay.
January. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this has changed. Like I'm not where I thought I was gonna be at all, when I
Mhm.
graduated high school, let alone college. I wanted to be a fucking art major when I graduated high school. I was like, what the hell? Like now I'm I'm writing and I'm doing all this podcast stuff. I didn't think I was gonna do this stuff.
Yeah, man. It's good that you found something you enjoy doing. That's definitely the biggest thing. Obviously, like you were saying, you had that late hit of like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, I still think of that as well. Even though I'm a personal trainer, I always see, I believe that no matter what you want to do in life, if you work hard enough, I feel like you can do very well doing what you love doing. I the sky's the limit with anything. Like you did, starting your own podcast, taking that risk, being that entrepreneur. That's amazing. And the only way, and you mentioned saying, hey, I didn't think I was gonna be where I was in 4 years. Um, that's what happens when you're consistent. That's it. You do what you want to do every day. You just keep at it, and before you know it, you're gonna be saying, "Wow, this is not where I thought I was gonna be." Yeah, I know it's a little different what you were saying because I know you said you were gonna be like an art major, but you know, time's just not real in my eyes. Time can go by so fast at certain points, and then others, it's like, oh my god, 10 minutes only went by. I'm fucking my thumbs in my ass, like I'm bored. Like so, yeah.
I hear you, man.
Um,
I
but
feel
yeah,
like what helps me fight that boredom too is like I found out that I really just genuinely like I like working if it's something that I enjoy. Like when it comes to the
exactly.
gym, which I was so sad that the gym lost power last night because I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit
Yeah,
legs, and now I can't hit legs today. I'm hoping I can hit them tomorrow. It's been
yeah,
such a messed up week for me, but like, um, you know, consistent. Like if it's the gym or if it's recording, if it's editing, photographing, that's not really it's like play for me. And then you get paid a pretty decent penny too to do it. If you can
yep,
find something you love to do and you get paid to do it, man, you got to chase that.
yep.
You got to chase that fast and
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. I tell like, my job as a personal trainer is honestly to be a salesperson,
Mm,
but I don't like to do that. It's
mm,
I just it makes me upset to sell someone that doesn't want it and is wasting their money. I
mm.
like what I do and I enjoy what I do so much. I just I don't if you don't want it then and I'm not helping you, put your money somewhere elsewhere. It's not for everybody. It
I'm the
really
same
isn't.
way. I'm the same way
Yeah,
with the
but
stuff that I
you
sell,
know,
man.
yeah, that's it. So yeah, like
Because you know what it is?
yeah,
It's like it's just not good business too, and it gives you more like respect as a person because it's like you're
mm,
genuinely like showing what you know, and you're not trying to like sell anything extra. So it's like it's really a compliment
yeah,
to yourself saying like, "Yo, like I'm giving you like straight up the facts, the know-how, and the
mm,
routine. It's just up to you. If you don't want anything more or less out of this, like you could, I recommend finding
yeah.
something else."
Yeah, and that's why I'm so like good at what I do is because I don't look at myself as a salesperson. I just look to help people. And as soon as people see that I'm not in it for the money, they want to drop all the money in the world for me because they know I'm just not doing it for the money. I tell people all the time, like everybody asks me, just when we're doing like a minute rest between sets, and there's nothing to really talk about. I'll
Mm.
always get the question all the time, like how long have you been doing what you're doing? Do you love what you do? And I tell them, like, to be truthful, I could do what I do for free. It is amazing to be getting paid for something I want to do because it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm just getting free money because I would do it for free. I would do it for free. So me getting paid to help people, I just feel there's just too many wins. I just don't see any negative sides to that. I'm helping people. I'm making people feel better about themselves, more confident, more mind driven, more mentally and physically, improved. And I'm getting paid. It's just great. It's great. I
It's
would
it's
love
just
to open
W's
my
all
own
around.
gym.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah?
I would. Yeah, yeah, totally. Like right now, I'm at Unique Fitness in Shirley.
Mm.
I'm also going to be certified in nutrition very soon.
Oh,
I
groovy.
do
Okay.
know everything you need to know about nutrition. I'm just getting the
Yo,
certification. Just
can we
yeah,
please talk about sucralose and all of the supplements, dude? Can we please because like it blows my mind how like I'll go to a gym or a health store and there will be like protein shakes and energy drinks and all this stuff and it's just filled with sucralose. It's like, dude, why does my creatine have sucralose in it? Why does my protein powder have sucralose in it? Even the vegan stuff. I mean, it's like that's such a bad chemical for you, and I don't think people understand like the damage it does to your digestive system
Yeah.
and to your glucose levels. It's like what like that's
Yeah.
something that really concerns me because you see it in one of these health locations, you're gonna think it's healthy, and then it has sucralose as the fifth ingredient.
Yep. And that honestly, that screws your metabolism up like a lot. And that definitely is important to know because as a nutritionist and as someone like that's going to write up plans to help people lose weight, you have to understand that just keeping that metabolism just burning and going, that fat burn process, you have to keep it consistently moving throughout the day. So
Mm,
people that if you don't eat in the morning, that's already boom. Your metabolism isn't going. So everyone always asks me like, oh, like why am I not losing weight? Like I'm eating healthier. I say, all right, let me ask you a question. Like, what time do you get up in the morning? 7 a.m. When do you eat your first meal? 9:30 a.m. All right. Put it this way. Okay. Here's the analogy.
mm.
You're in a cabin in the woods. You're in a cabin in the woods. You have no electric. You just have a fireplace, and it's freezing in the house. You wake up at 7 a.m. Are you going to wake up at 7 a.m., immediately go to the wood and throw a log on that fire? Or are you going to wake up, shiver for 2 hours, and then throw a log on that fire? What are you going to do
You're gonna throw the log on the fire
right
when
away?
you wake up. Yeah.
Right. Same exact thing, with eating.
Mm, I see.
You have, yeah. What would you rather have your metabolism started like as soon as your eyes open, or would you rather start your metabolism in that fat burn process 2 hours before you wake up? I know this is a little off topic to what you were saying with the sucralose, but
No, it still follows the same pattern because it's still like a
hmm
sugar process. You're getting your
yeah,
glucose levels started for the day.
yep, hmm
And the thing is too, like even with breakfast, like some people what they'll do is they'll eat like a sucralose laden product like Lucky Charms, or they'll have, Eggo waffles, bro. The waffles, always look at the waffles. They might have that in there. It's always good
yep.
to it pays to look at the nutrition facts. If it sound if it sounds like a chemical or you can't pronounce it, don't buy it.
If you can't pronounce it, don't buy it.
If you can't pronounce
I
it,
love it.
don't buy it. I mean, now if you can't pronounce salt or vinegar, I mean, we got bigger problems here. But if it's ambidextra boofadoop or whatever the fuck, then don't buy it. Like, like those what the hell is it? Those
Isopure?
yeah, Isopure, bro. Sucralose is fucking filled with that. Like, there's so much sucralose in that. There's
Yeah,
sucralose in a majority of protein pack. Like, I used to when I would try to bulk, I would drink protein shakes, and I was like, man, why am I passing gas? Like, what's going on? Like, why do I feel like
yeah,
crap? And then I'm looking at the container and sucralose and all these other like chemicals were in my protein powder. And I'm like, man, like that's crazy. Like I'm just gonna eat, food instead. And I've been feeling a lot better. I feel like stronger. Um,
yeah,
I think I do feel that, you know, I may be missing something with some of the shakes. So like finding a shake maybe that um doesn't have sucralose in it. If there is any, I would totally buy that. But I feel like it's very
yeah.
difficult from all the products I've seen.
Uh huh. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I would love to learn like more about it. Like, I'm not like I said, the nutrition isn't like my strong suit, but
Mm.
I that's why I kind of want to learn a little bit more because
So
I can.
sucralose,
Yeah,
like if you want a crash course, sucralose, what it does is it kills like bacteria in the gut, and it kills like half your good bacteria, and that leaves it open to bad bacteria growing. So what it
yeah,
does is it creates more acid in your stomach and in your small intestine. So it can create ulcers, it can increase your weight. Um, it messes with your glucose, so it shoots your sugars all the way up because it's an
yeah.
artificial
Yeah,
sweetener.
diabetics gotta be careful.
Diabetics gotta be super careful with that. And it's funny because it was originally created for weight loss and diabetics, but
Yeah,
sucralose actually does the opposite. It's been found lately. So
yeah,
definitely staying away from it. Um, Instead, like I honestly, I'm a big proponent of just eating fruits instead of sugary candies. And like I'll see kids at the gym and they'll have like a Rice Krispie before they go like lift
yeah.
lift on their compounds. And I'm like, dude, like. eat some berries or something. Like I eat a strawberry in the morning, I'm wide awake. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's better than coffee. I mean, what the hell? But it's because it
Yeah.
has natural sugar.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I'll admit I'm one of those guys that I'll love popping the Rice Krispie treat before the left. It's just it's very fast.
No.
Yeah, it's fast, fast. It breaks down super quick. Quick carbs,
How how quick does it break down?
very fast. I mean, that's what I
Very
was
fast.
told. Yeah,
Do you feel it?
I like. Honestly, like it's also really good for pump.
Mm.
I that's what I just feel like. You know, the days I have the Rice Krispie treat, I got a little bit more energy. Very low calories, so you don't feel like super like full and sick. You know, I've never had a problem with it, but you do deliver a good point.
Yeah, it's like because it's all that artificial stuff. So it's like my biggest concern is like people trying to do the right thing and then end up doing the wrong thing. So like a lot of people when they lift too, they're lifting really heavy or they'll eat some candy or they'll, sniff smelling salts or they'll take pre-workout and all this other crap that they don't really need. And then, eventually some of them just the gateway opens up and they do trend in the locker room. But um the fear is like straying away from like the health aspects of the gym where it's like, like personally, I feel that, if you need like all of that to get to the gym and do your thing, like you're kind of cheating yourself, right? Because if you're in a
Yeah,
situation, say you're in a situation and you need to lift up like a heavy couch or you need to like, pick something up and run like 20 yards with it, you're not going to
let
have
me
the
pop my
Rice Krispie
pre-workout.
treat. Yeah, you can pop your, hey, hold on, bro. Let me pop my pre-workout before I fight you. Like, you like I try to at least like with me, I try to keep it as natural and chemical free as possible just because like I want to be sure like if I'm put in a situation where I really need to use all of my strength, like I'm used to using all my strength, not like muting stuff with
Right.
like pain killing elements or like CBD or taking a
Right.
pre-workout or any of that. But then again, the adrenaline kind of kicks in for you
I
too.
was
So
just about to say that. I feel like too, yeah, with all the pre-workouts, it's your dopamine shoots up, that excitement, that adrenaline all shoots up. So it's more in your head.
I think so
Some
too.
people get crazy effects from the pre-workout. Me personally, like I take it sometimes when I feel like I like need it, like after a long day.
Mm.
Um, but I don't feel it until I say, "Oh, I just took pre-workout. I just took pre-workout," and then you get amped up because like it's all in your head.
It is. A lot of it's like it goes back to what you're saying about mentals. Like I'll even be like
Hmm.
I'll be lifting some days and it's like I know I can push the weight to 10. And I'm just like, 7 sounds good. And then it's like, nah, you can't do
Hmm.
more than 7. And I'll push past 7. And half the time I'll be like, yeah, I got 10. And then the other half the time's like, yeah, nah, fuck this. So it's like it's all in the head, even though I know I just hit like, you know, 50 pounds for not fit like 100 pounds for overhead press um yesterday, like with the dumbbells. And but then it's like, I'm gonna stick to 40s and just, do like 7 to 10 or whatever. Like it really depends on your
Yeah.
mentals for the day. And what people don't realize too is that what you're going through in life also affects your like your lift. It affects everything. And I feel like gauging how your day went goes by how your workout's going. So if you
Yeah.
had a really shitty day and you're like stressed and preoccupied, you're gonna have a shitty lift. If you had like, a rough day, but your head's up high, like you feel good about the situation, resolving all that, then your lift is good. And then when your day's great and you have a good lift. But
Yeah.
it's really reflective and it forces you to look back on your what happened and why am I lifting so bad? Because like it like you said, 95 I feel percent of the gym is all mental. Same thing with
I
fighting
b-
too, man.
yeah. No, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. It all comes down to the how bad do you want it mindset. How bad do I want it? How bad do I know what I need to do today? Am I gonna let my body overcome my mind? I'm
Mm,
tired is not an excuse. People, I get
no,
so
it's
many
not.
problems. I have a client that works 7 to 7, 7 in the morning, 7 at night, and will
Wow.
still again yawning.
Wow. He sounds like me for real.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
all of a sudden just has all this energy. And he always thanks. He's like, James, he's like, I would not be able to do without you, man. I'm like, listen, I'm like, I'm only here to just give you that push, my friend. I'm like, I could give you all that motivation and talk and tell you what we're doing today, and you can just be like, whatever, go scratch, and push.
Dude, that's awesome. I like that's another thing too. Like a lot of people be like, "Oh, I worked like mad long today. I can't." The only thing that gets in my way with my workout is that the gym is not open till like 11 p.m. every day.
Correct.
That's
Or
like
the power
my
goes out.
or the or the power goes out. Or the power goes out. I honestly, part of me just wants to get like a Planet Fitness membership just to like have a place to go, but I know that the lift there is just like inadequate. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I'd be like, like for me at least, I also got hurt at Planet Fitness, so I also don't want to give them more money. But yeah, they literally, bro, the bars. I went to the Medford one, and the bars at the on the Smith machine were like bent. So I pushed
No.
up like, yeah, bro. I was on bench, and I pushed my weight up, and I felt a pop in my shoulder, and I'm like, what the fuck? And my boy felt it too, but he's fine. So I ended up almost ripping my bicep tendon open. So
Yeah. I
that's
think
how
I
I
remember
got
you
into the.
talking about this.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was really pissed off about it for a while. Bro, I was telling so many people about that shit. I was like, yeah, fuck that place. But that's how I got into calisthenics. And for like 6 months, I couldn't lift like really any weights. So it was just like calisthenics and a lot of like push-ups and kettlebell and dips. Oh my God, so many dips.
Yeah,
Um,
I always see you working, man. Those depths go crazy.
dude, the dips on the gymnastics ring are undefeated. Like my bench press went up from like I don't know, like some BS like 90 pound, 85 pound BS thing to like being able to bench 135 and like benching my body weight and all because of just doing dips. Like especially on the
Yeah,
gymnastics rings because a lot of people too what they fail to realize about compound lifts is that it involves the entire body working in unison. So
correct.
dips do that, especially when you take away the stabilizer and add it the instability of the gymnastics ring. So I suggest
Hmm.
that to everyone, man. I'm always like, yo, y'all gotta try this shit right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember I was at a plateau. And this is when I used to bench press every day. And I know you asked. This is the first question you asked me, in the beginning of the podcast, and I didn't really answer it. And
Mm,
that was just making me think about it. Yeah, I would definitely say dips skyrocketed my bench, like heavy weighted dips. I would
mm.
do a lot of pause reps too, because you know, putting the weight on your chest and just letting it sit there and then coming up, you're killing all that momentum. You're just using your chest and you're working on those the explosive muscle fibers. I'm gonna be honest, my brain's farting right now.
Don't
Type
worry about it.
X or type, yeah, something like that. Those, and you recruit the most muscle fibers when you're exploding through the concentric, which is the hard part of the movement.
Mm.
The part of the movement that's getting the muscles to contract.
Oh, I see. So from when you're going from down to up.
Yep, yep. So yeah,
Got
the
you.
push on the bench press. Yep. And then for instance, like the pull on a pull up. So pulling yourself up is the concentric, and then the eccentric is when your muscles are retracting.
Mm,
So yeah, I would do a lot of also very very slow eccentric work. So exploding up on the way up on the bench press, and then coming down nice and slow, count to like 3, and then pausing the weight on my chest and going again. And obviously, you're gonna have to lighten up the weight to do that. And then another really good way to increase your bench is to 5x5. 5x5 helped me a ton. Just making sure you're progressively overloading every single week, meaning you're going up 2.5 pounds every other week or every week, or up 5 pounds, and just like I said, continuing those 5x5s. The thing with that is you really need a lot of energy. It's
mm.
going to take a huge toll on you. It's going to tire you the hell out. But it's those days, when you're in the gym, you got to push 110%. There's no slacking off. Your mind has to be in the position where, I got to move this weight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
And
agree
another,
with you.
yeah. hmm I made a TikTok on this also. I have a TikTok, JM Athletics, that we can shout out, jm.athletics. So I do a lot of funny content. I do a little bit of informational content, and mostly like motivation, like funny motivation. stuff like that. I do a little bit of everything, but I've been super inconsistent lately. I wanna definitely start posting again, like consistently 3 to 5 times a day. And back again to when we were talking. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I know you do a lot of editing for a living. It is a
Mm.
lot of work. I give you so much props. That drives me
Thank you,
crazy
man.
to edit.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, it's harder for you too. You don't edit on the computer, do you? You edit on CapCut.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that's even, bro, editing on the phone makes me want to wrap my head in a fucking cable and throw myself off a building. Like I would rather like drink bleach. So I give you a lot of credit too, because that sucks, bro.
No, yeah,
It's
but
It's my mom does the same thing. She has a page too. She does the emotional freedom technique, and
that's all.
it's I think it's F Barone EFT, and so it's a lot of therapeutic stuff. And she edits everything on the phone too. And I'm like, man, how do you have the patience to do this? Like, I I need I have a laptop and I have a desktop, and that's the only way I edit.
Yeah.
If I have to edit on the phone, bro,
Yeah, the
it's
thing
sending
is,
me on a
on
tangent.
the laptop, it looks so complicated. When you look at like if I was to look at your laptop when you were editing, I'd be like, dude, what the hell's going on? CapCut is just it's very user friendly. Someone that
Really?
really doesn't. Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
You just click. You have all your little options. On the bottom it just says. I mean, I really don't know how easy it is on the computer. I would assume so. It just looks complicated. CapCut is just click the split button, split your video where it needs to be split, cut it out. Effects button, you put your transitions in, you put your filters in wherever you want. So slow
Mm.
motion, fast motion. So it is a little user friendly, but like I
No,
mentioned,
I fuck with the user friendly. You know what it is for me? Like, I just like it feels so like claustrophobic. So that's the
a
only reason I
small screen.
yeah, like I don't know what it is. Like, so I mean, I'm glad it's user friendly. I gotta figure it out more and play with it because TikTok's like one of the apps that a lot of my clients ask me about, and I'm just like for a while
Yeah,
I actually turned them away from it because I didn't know if the government was gonna ban them, from ban
yeah.
people from using TikTok. So I was like, I don't know about that, guys. But now that it seems stable and now that I'm actually addicted to the app, it's actually really bad. I'm chronically like scrolling through it. Um, it's like, all right, now I got to really figure it out. But it's dedication and you're marketing your business too. So it's like, you're focusing on much like me, like we're both focusing on training and building our business at the same time. And there's
Yeah.
sacrifices that come with that. There's things we got to do that are risky. I mean, I took a job in a career that am not, I did not go to school for it really. And it's a learning curve, but I needed to get out of my old job because I needed more money and I needed to get out of that box that I was
Yeah.
describing earlier. So it's like, it's cool. It's like remote, it's flexible. I'm like, all right, like that's groovy. There's challenges with it, of course, but you got to just take a risk. You got to take risks. And I
And
realized
then
like
that's
I'm
all that.
24, almost 25, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm miserable right now. Like I could literally like tomorrow could be it. You know what I mean? Like how many people have you
Uh-huh.
seen like 24, 25, 26 that are like dead or dying? Like there's a lot I've been seeing,
Too
man. So
many.
too many. So I'm just like, dude, I'm not happy anymore and I don't want to not be happy and make 18 an hour. That sucks. So I'm just gonna like
Exactly.
I'm gonna go find something else. So it's all about consistency and doing what you
That's
love,
it.
man.
Yeah, and if you're not afraid to take those risks and to step out of your comfort zone, you're going to have a very easy time. Not easy, but you're going to have an easier time moving through life because life, there's so many things that it will just throw at you that, is going to knock you down. But the famous Rocky quote, you got to get up, stay up, keep moving. That's another quote I love that will like push me through life because, you never know. You never know. You never know when the time's going to run out, if it's
No.
losing a loved one or if it's getting fired from a job or if it's like a divorce or you have to move or you know
Business
anything
failing.
anything you never know what life has to throw at you, and you need to just be ready. You have to be disciplined enough to step out of that comfort zone and do whatever you got to do to make it work.
Yeah, yeah, because if you're just stuck being comfortable all the time, a little upset's gonna freak you out.
Yeah, as soon as you're comfortable you get lazy. That's
Yeah,
it,
man.
another
It
good. Yeah.
Well, I was feeling lazy. That's what it was, and I felt like my brain was
Yeah.
deteriorating. I'm like, yo, I'm
And
just
listen,
sitting
it's
in.
okay.
Yeah,
We're human. We get burnt out. We get burnt out. You know, like, and I tell my clients all the time, I'm not perfect. There's days I really don't want to go to the gym. You know, there's days that I don't want to go to the gym and I don't have the motivation to even get there, and I just take a rest day and go
mm,
harder the next day. We're human. It's just,
absolutely.
yeah,
People
like,
think we're
and I'm.
machines too. It's like you
Mhm.
you you can't think that. It's just the whole goal of like, and I want to, before we leave this, I do want to tell like the listeners, like
Yeah,
when we're talking about all this stuff, it's more like like on the days where you don't succumb to the what it means to be human, keep going 110% because there's going to be a day where you're going to be 100% human and just not want to do anything and just do stuff for yourself. Like those
exactly.
days will happen. So it's not like shaming you for like taking a rest day or like for life getting hard one week. It's just doing the best with
No,
what you have when the irregularities come through.
exactly.
I saw a
Exactly.
guy I saw a guy on the internet. I think it was on TikTok or something or Facebook Reels and he was like, "Dude, like give 110% and it's okay if you couldn't make it to the gym, 5 days a week this week and you only could come two or three. Like if life got in your way, life got in your way. You got to, make
Mhm.
do for your responsibilities. But what's important is that you're consistent in as much as you can. You're consistent as much as you can be. And you make time for
Exactly.
the gym and
Yeah.
yourself as much as you can. So just doing what
Mhm.
you can when you can and always making it a priority to do that when you have the time available is what's going to set you apart from everyone else.
Yep. You have to know, like, yeah, after that little break, you got to get back on track, like you mentioned. Exactly. I 100% agree with you.
It's a for us it's a little different because we've been lifting for so long or like we have this groove going, but for people that are just starting to get in the gym, like I always recommend like if you're going to start your fitness journey, do not take off outside, like only take one rest day every week for 6 months, and then you could play around with it. And I'd even say like don't even go on vacation because my fear is like, and this was a fear when I started going, is that like if you stop in the middle of that very new beginning period, you're going to get thrown
Hmm.
off. So you want to really develop the habit and the love of it. That's the most important part. I love going to the gym. If I can't go to the gym, I'm like mad. I'm genuinely like angry that I
Yeah.
can't go. So, even if it's for something good, even if it's to hang out with friends, hang with a girl, bro, hang out with family, go
Yeah.
make money or something, it's like, fuck, I want to go to the gym. You know, it's almost like a drug at that point. Like, if you're not feeling like
Yeah.
that, find a different way to get physically fit. Because maybe the gym isn't for you, but maybe riding a bike is, or figure skating, or skateboarding, or running. It's finding
Of
something that
course.
jives with you, so you could keep the habit going.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what I want to leave everyone with. Yo, James, plug ways people can get in contact with you, and if they want to get some sessions with you, where can they get reach you at?
Awesome. So yes, you guys can reach me on Instagram, James.Maringo, Maringo. I have Facebook, James Maringo. You can reach me on TikTok, jm.athletics. You can even call me. Actually, scratch that. I'm not gonna give everybody my number. You
Yeah,
gotta
don't
come
do
in and get
that.
my business card. Yeah, yeah. You can come grab my business card at Unique Fitness.
Maybe give them the gym's phone number so that way they could call the gym.
Yeah, that sounds good. Hold up, we gotta look it up quick.
We
I
gotta
gotta
look
make
up
sure.
Unique Fitness real quick. But yeah, that gym's a good gym, man. There's a lot of good people
I
there.
love that gym.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's like home. It's like home.
yeah. It's gonna
Like,
be 631-772-5900.
so give
Yeah,
them a
no,
call.
definitely.
Book a personal training session with James. I want to thank you for coming on Backpacking America. It was great. I'd love to have you back on in the future.
I would love to as well. This was amazing.
Excellent.
Thank you
Hey,
for
listen,
having
man.
me.
You anytime, and to our listeners, thank you again for listening to Backpacking America. This was episode 240, and we don't stream on the weekends. So I will see you on Monday, everyone. Have